Hello everyone and welcome to this video on introduction to patterns. Let me quickly run over the materials that we will require, which is pretty basic. I usually use a writing pad uh, and an A4 size sheet, blank sheet. Then we have this black ink. It could be any black ink, it could be a gel pen, a ball pen, or even a fine liner, for example. That would be much better. Uh, some people would be more comfortable using a pencil and an eraser as well, and then highlight it over the with the pen, or you can just directly just go with the pen. That's what I usually do. And we have a ruler. This is to make our borders, and that's it pretty much. So put on your favorite music and get ready for a really enriching experience when you're practicing patterns. So the idea here is to enjoy the process. So always remember that. And with that, let's begin. Let's first create a border of 5 centimeters. Let's make a box so that we can put our pattern inside it. And I'm using a 5 centimeter box because we're just practicing. Okay, when you want to make a complete artwork with patterns, then you will obviously require a bigger box. You can make a border to your A4 size and actually make it through the entire sheet. But right now we're just practicing, and I'll just keep rotating the pad so that it's clear for you. So here we have a square box, and let's start out with a very basic pattern. Also, we don't have to cover the entire box with one pattern. If you want to use multiple patterns, just randomly make these lines coming out from one side, right, just to divide the square. Now we have three portions where we can make three different kinds of patterns. So let's start out with a circular pattern, right? You can just have circles, small circles, some big circles around this. There would could be small circles over here, and what we are doing is we are making some big ones. We'll keep it in the range of this portion here, okay, and make a couple of bigger circles first, and then you can surround it with just small circles sticking to each other. Slowly cover the entire space, right? There should not be any space left out. So I'm doing it in a little bit of hurry. You can do it even slower than this, so that I can cover more patterns with you. This is a very simple pattern of just making circles. As you can see, with small circles, we are covering the entire area, and from a larger perspective it is looking nice, right? So let the circles stick to each other. Let there not be any gaps around. Obviously there will be some gaps, but try to cover as much portion as you can with circles. And the best part is there's nothing that there's wrong or right here, so you can always correct any mistakes that you feel that you've done, because there are no mistakes as such. And from a bigger perspective it looks really beautiful. So I'll just zoom in to show you, right? And this is the first pattern. So there are some big circles and small ones, like a fungus kind of a pattern. Now let's go to the center portion. Okay, Here we can come up with a more geometric pattern. I'm using triangles. Okay, look at me carefully. I make a small triangle and I just make a border big triangle over there. That's it. Now I'm going to cover the entire area, at least the sides for now, with the same shape. Look at me carefully and then you can do it in your sheet. Okay, so make a small triangle and cover it with a bigger one. Let the border area cover with this pattern here, and we are going in one direction like this. Now I want you to color with the black ink the small triangle that you have made. So remember, in shading you have to make these small strokes. Okay, so just to give you an idea, if it is such a big triangle that you're going to shade, okay, for example, then you will just use small strokes in one direction. Now I'm using sleeping lines here, as you can see, like it's taught in school. So in one direction, so you get the idea, it's moving in one direction. I could have also done the shading in the vertical direction. Okay, so either this or this, that's fine. So that will cover the entire area, and it will also look clean. So just make sure that the inner triangles are given a solid black color. With either having standing lines or sleeping lines, kind of a stroke in between. There's a nice pleasure experience when you have solid coloring done, right? So we've completed this. In the center you have a lot of space here. You are free to make something out of that space as well. Like you can have swirls as a pattern to cover these areas where there is space, so the area looks covered. Yeah, I'll zoom in. You can see we did the borders and then we did swirls. You can further enhance this pattern because now you have these borders. You can have dots, circular dots all over them, giving them a more ethnic touch. Yeah, or I just leave it up to you if you want to keep them blank. Right, now we have the last area that we need to cover. Here we can come up with this very beautiful pattern where it comes as a ray of light. You can use a scale for this pattern. Take one source point, any one point, and just remove lines from that same source, straight lines. To make it more geometric, we are using a scale. So let the lines just come from one single source. Now you can see this smudging which is happening here. It's because I'm using a gel pen, but if I use a fine liner, this won't happen. So you can upgrade to a fine liner once you're comfortable with gel pens as well. So single source point, and I've removed these lines. Now I can do that without a scale as well, and it's okay if it's not very geometric. That's fine, it will still give you the beautiful feeling of a pattern. Now in the center you can have something like a flower petal, kind of a shape. I leave it up to you if you want to further enhance this, and we're done. So this is my box of these 3 patterns, and we're gonna learn a lot many patterns in future. So you can feel free to use the best ones that you like, that you feel look perfect. So this was just to give you an introduction on these patterns. You can also practice these patterns in a small box, just to practice. You don't need scale, and you can just divide it in 2 parts, and then go along with making these, for example, just to give you an idea. So this is on a bigger scale, and you can use the entire A4 size for these patterns. You can cover the entire page. It will take time, and what will come out as an output would be really amazing. So that's it. Just wanted to give you an idea of 3 patterns that we learned today, and do stay in touch for more such videos. Thank you.